Today I'm going to speak about Satan and the angels of Elohim. In Christianity or Messianic belief, Satan is a bad guy. He's a super angel that rebelled against God and took some of God's angels with him. They became demons. Now, how do we understand this? Because a lot of newcomers who are just learning about Judaism and the Israelite way understand that within the Hebrew scriptures we understand the text never saying anything about Satan being rebellious against God and being a counter power against God or a force of evil against God himself. On the contrary, it is absolutely lunacy and ridiculous because Satan has no power over Elohim. In the Tanakh, you see that Satan does the bidding of God. He is not a bad guy and he's not a good guy. He is an agent of God who his job is to tempt the earth and mankind to sin against God. And if we deflect those temptations, those sinful abominations that are presented in our minds or in front of us, then we become stronger in our faith, become stronger in the way of Elohim. So, the question comes up, well, if Satan, it's a serious question. They say, if Satan is a good guy, and you're saying that there is no demons, then how do you explain millions and millions of people talking about possessions, spiritual encounters, demon possession, and it's always the same similar stories all over. You cannot ignore it, and I'm not going to ignore it. This stuff is spoken about all over the earth, and they're very, very similar. The stories are the same actions, same scary situations. How do we answer this in Judaism? And it's a great question. When we read the Torah, we see that God warns us about spiritism, sorcery, witchcraft, and so on and so forth. Everything to do with the occult. God warns us, stay away from it. This is not good for you. Now, those who follow Scripture understand that there's something not good about this. Well, what about atheists? What about people that don't believe in God? Well, most of these ones do not believe in God or the Scriptures or Satan, but yet they want to bring about a supernatural experience. Well, what is supernatural? What are these experiences all about? It's all about spiritism, spirits, the spirit world, in which they claim they don't believe in. So the question is, well, what about the atheists? How come they get experiences? They don't believe in God. They don't know Torah. How is that fair? And I say fair? It doesn't have to be fair. God said it is not allowed. Well, they don't believe in God, so what do you say about that? Okay, well, since they don't believe in God, they believe in something because they're trying to spark up the supernatural. They can't predict the future themselves, so they want to predict the future using spiritism or sorcery. They want to talk to the dead. That has to do with spiritism. That has nothing to do with atheism. They want to summon something. They want a supernatural experience. God is in control of all supernatural things. As he says in Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7, I make peace and create evil. I, Yehovah, do all these things. There is no other force but Elohim. Period. The end. Period. So therefore, even those who don't believe in the Scriptures, who want a supernatural experience, God will punish. Do you really think about this? The understanding of God according to the Jewish people, according to Israel, that God is in control of all things. And they say, okay, well then why does God allow bad things to happen with the so-called good angels? It doesn't make any sense. Well, I guess it does, actually. It makes a lot of sense. Because God is not going to tell his angels to make you experience something pleasant. He's going to tell his angels, they want to play with the supernatural? Go ahead and scare them. Go ahead and make them pay. Make them know that this is not good. That this is something negative, not positive. So therefore, Negative things will happen when you mess with the supernatural, the occult, spiritism, witchcraft, seances, and so forth. Negative experiences will happen. Now, at first it may seem positive. Ooh, I found out when I'm going to die. Or, ooh, I found out this, I found out that. Then later on, all of a sudden you start hearing things or experiencing things or say that you experience things that are negative. Some people they lose their minds over it. So therefore, God is in control of all things. So the question I ask you, and I mean this in a kind way, but you have to think this. Why would God give you a great experience for doing that? Whether or not you believe in the Bible is irrelevant. Why do you think God would let you experience something wonderful for doing this? It's absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. God is going to tell his angels, you know what, they want to play with this? Let's show them what it's all about. Let's show them that this is not good. This is something negative. This is a way to understand this and understand it well, and that it makes sense, because this is something that doesn't get brought up. No other person has been teaching this kind of thing. They don't answer this. They don't want to go there. But I do, because you have a right to know this. If God is in control of good and evil, and he's in control of all things, and there is no demons, there is no Satan in the form of Christian ideology, then how do you explain all these experiences? It's very simple. God is punishing you and showing you that these things are wicked and evil, and he does not like this. He does not want you to do this. So therefore, he's going to scare the living crap out of you so that you do not do this again. You think he wants you to continue in this? Of course not. You think he's going to send you flowers and roses for doing this? Of course not. So it makes sense once you put your head around it why God would allow his angels to make you experience something terrifying, because he's trying to tell you this is not good. This is not pleasant. This is something that God detests. And many times, these experiences will lead you to believe in God. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you understand what I'm meaning by this. And search the scriptures well. Tanakh explains to you that Elohim is in control of all things. The angels do the bidding of God. And God has commandments, rules and regulations. And one of those things is not to mess with the occult. Whether or not you believe in God or not is irrelevant. God is the master of all things. He rules and he controls all things. So therefore, if you want to play with the supernatural, whether you believe in God or not, well, now you're messing with his realm. And he says not to mess with that. So even if you don't know, he's going to give you an experience so that you know that this is something he does not like. He is against this. Hope this was made clear. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Shalom. Have a blessed day. And I have a lot more videos to coming this week and next week. Thank you. Shalom.